if this works, then it's probably officially the easiest way to make collage strips. Holy cow, this could work. This could work. I need to try this out. Hi, this is Luisa Heinzel. I'm sorry, it's me again. Perhaps you already think, what the heck is going on? Why is she so often on my screen? But if you clicked to this video, then probably, or perhaps, hopefully, maybe because of the title, collage strips is something really cool, isn't it? And that is something we can always need for our junk journals. What I originally wanted to do, and I ended up with this stuff here, what I originally wanted to do is to jazz up and cut my vintage specimen strips, which you can see here. This is a digital printable paper from my shop. It's an ephemera pack, and it has all of these cool butterflies and other animals. And I have printed this out on 200 GSM photo paper, but that doesn't really matter for this idea. But for all of you who want to know that, it's 200 GSM photo paper. And then I splattered a little bit with white gesso and some dirty paintbrush water. And I stamped here a little bit, like these stamps here, for example. This is from the Field Notes stamp set by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. The number of this set is CMS 396. One of the most amazing stamp sets ever, I would say. And yeah, then I thought, okay, let's cut all of this up. In my reality, it's still March. I have no idea when you will see this video, but I got influenced a lot by Tony at Crafty by Tony and this thing which is called Mars Make March. And I was just sitting here, and the plan was to have something like this. Yeah, these things cut up into pieces, like single, single images, and also strips like this, so that I later on have nice ephemera. And what happened? I suddenly thought, wouldn't it be cool / possible to cut this stuff into, this is something else, sorry, into strips, and then put that back on here, then cut it in this direction, and then having collage strips? Is that possible? That's what I want to try. I already figured something out, and I want to show you that. So if you print these to a full sheet of paper, this is DIN A4, then it doesn't fit into this paper trimmer. That's not a problem. So I decided to cut, wait, what have I done? Yeah, I've cut one row off from here. But if you have a bigger paper trimmer, please, do the whole sheet. But I just wanted to show you quickly how I came to these strips here. So then I had this. Then I have just cut this white frame off, because we obviously don't need that. I mean, you could leave it there if you like it, obviously, but I don't want to have it there. And then, and I'm just thinking something else. Then, oh my goodness, this will probably be very chaotic, but I'm trying my best to explain what I did. So then I had this, and then I took that and I put it into the paper trimmer like so, to then cut strips. And then I inked them up, and I had something like this. Even this alone would be really, really cool as, faux washi tape or some other, you could do some other things with this. But I thought, what if I ink these and then take some other papers? This is some ideology backdrops cut in strips. And then layer that here, glue that down, cut it like so, collage strips. And now I'm thinking, while I had this here, when I made these, I cut in this direction. But would it be possible, since these are squares, to cut it like so? and then later on take those and put them like so. Let's try that, but let's not mix them up so that we can see the difference. So these are cut like so. Let's put these here and let's then cut these in the other direction. And I think, oh my goodness, I think that is even cooler than the other thing. If you are a freak like me, make sure that you cut really straight. I already noticed that I have some of the strips which are not really straight. Is that a problem? Well, for me perhaps. Yeah, let's see. So I don't really measure, I just cut where I think it looks good. And then I take another sheet of these. And let's now see if we can take these, even if they have been cut like so. But can we? Yes, we can. And that looks even cooler. Oh my goodness. This makes no sense at the moment. Perhaps if you can't envision that, hopefully that's a good word for what I'm trying to say. Because when you have them cut in the same direction like these are, meaning like so, and then you put these back here, then sometimes it looks a little bit weird. I mean, that could work as well, and I think I will try that anyway, but I think it's a really cool addition to have some of them cut like so. Because then the animals don't look so dead. I mean, you know, because they are cut up, yeah. And another possibility would be to take these and try it like so. But then we would need to cut the strips like so later. But let's do one thing after the other, okay? So what are we going to do? We take these. These are the ones from the second paper. Then I take this, and let's first start with this original idea. I also have some leftover backdrops from Ideology. And what I need to do now, because, you know, I haven't prepared that because I was just thinking I turn on the camera and make this video pretty spontaneously. So I will cut some of these into strips as well. These are not as long as the others because I have my basket here with some leftovers. And I just picked what I thought could look nice color-wise and what would fit to these colors here. But I think that doesn't really matter. We can just puzzle that. Or is it, in English, is it perhaps a better word? Piece it together. I think that's the better word. So let's perhaps start with these. And let's see what will happen here. So I use some Scotch Timber Distress ink to ink these up. I will quickly do that off camera so that we then can go on. Okay, so here I'm back. I have inked all of these up. And what I also thought is here from this printable we have some of the strips like this, for example, where not so much is going on. I mean, you know, he is nothing. And if I imagine that this is here, I think we could make this a little bit more interesting by stamping to those who don't have so much on them. I mean, perhaps that is personal preference. I mean, I'm sure that is personal preference, what you want to have on them or what not. I like a good contrast, It, of course, also depends on the other strips you have. I mean, you could do this, I think, with only a printable and not, I mean, you don't necessarily need to include other paper, yeah? But it's probably also depending on what you choose and how much contrast you want. And if you want a lot of contrast, if you then, you know, have already something on the paper or not. Do you know what I mean? So I want to take some stamps from the Field Notes stamp set and some archival ink ground espresso. I will, ooh, holy cow, I will just stamp on here. Okay, so then let's take this and let's then look how we want to start here. Shall we perhaps just glue it down without thinking? I think the more you think about this, the less good it gets. Do you know what I mean? So let's take this, add some glue, and just line that up there. We could even go a little higher, because why not? There's this white strip. Did I just say I glue it down without thinking? We could also think about not gluing them like so, but like so that these lines are not lined up. That could also be interesting. But before I try that, I will go on with the spec strips, because I want to alternate the material I have here. It would probably be even faster if we took some collage medium or so to glue this down, because then we could do that with a brush. Have I used something which could be reactivated when I do that? I don't think so. But probably I shouldn't overthink this. So what I also want to try is I want to include some lace. I have this here where I think that fits really, really well color-wise, and I can tear it pretty easily. That's also good. So I will put a little bit of glue to this strip I've just glued down. It's like so. You could, of course, also put that directly to the edge of the strip, but in this case I think it looks better like so when it's overlapping this piece, because then we see more of the next row here of the animals. Okay, so then let's perhaps go on with, what do you think about this? It's really hard to imagine how it will look in the end, isn't it? Because obviously it will not stay in this full sheet. But if we don't try it, we will never find out if it would have been good or not. So I will go on gluing these strips down. I don't want to waste your time with you know, I don't want you to watch me gluing these down. That must be totally boring. So I will quickly do that. I will just go on like I just did. Here where this is, I think it really doesn't matter when the thing is like so, when this strip is not the same width like that, because we can always cover this little thing here up with, for example, some lace, a little tape or something like that. So I will, don't freak my freak about that, and I will just fill this whole thing up with these strips, alternating the backdrops and these stamped ones and, you know, all of the others and the lace. And then I'm back when this is finished. So I just grabbed some Tim Holtz washes. I think these could work really well. I think it would be nice to have a little bit more black here. So let's try to put a little bit here. And then the lace. Holy cow, how wonky can a washi be? Okay, no, it's wonky. Yes, it's totally wonky there, but we don't care about that. We try to cover that mistake with the lace. Try to get that now on this edge of this strip so that we see a lot of the washi. And then my brain also mixed the ideas from the beginning already, because here we have both of these images where nothing is over in this direction. So I thought, why don't I take these and try to puzzle that on here? I mean, why not? Where's the problem? I know in the beginning I said I want to try that after each other, because these are from the other direction of cutting. But why can't I do this here at the same time? And while I was thinking that, I thought perhaps we should even consider adding some labels or so in this direction, meaning things which are smaller and not full strips, and in the other direction, to make this whole thing even more interesting. And when I have something like this, I think it also would be a good idea to add, where's my washi? Ah, here. To add the strip of washi like so, so that this and this doesn't look so weird. Or alternatively, a piece of the backdrop paper or whatever you have cut into strips. Okay, so here we go. I have these. These are from a digital ephemera pack from my shop as well. These are called vintage labels Der Schrank. Der Schrank is German and it means the cabinet. And I have made these from my cabinet. I mean, what the heck? If you have seen the video where I showed you these for the first time, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you might be confused. I bought a cabinet for my craft room, and there have been a ton of these handwritten things, and these, what you can see here is all from the original labels from my cabinet. I scanned them. I haven't had sleep for approximately 5 days when I did that, but now I have them all, so that I mean in a digital version, so that I can print them out whenever I want. I've also taken out these, but I'm not so sure. These are pretty... Oh. I just wanted to say pretty colorful, but I also have some which are neutral. These are all also from my shop. I will link everything I have used here today down below in the description box so that you can check that out. And do you know what? I have also printed these in a smaller scale. And I have already cut some of these out. And I'm assuming that these will go on here as well later when we have cut it. But first, let me grab some cello tape, because I think that could be a really nice addition. This is from Ideology. If you don't have something like this, you could obviously also take some normal clear tape and use some alcohol inks to get something like this. Oh. This is so cool. And while I'm doing this, I also think in the beginning I said this might be the easiest way to make collage strips. I haven't had the time to do a research on YouTube, so I have absolutely no idea if perhaps anyone has done this before already. If so, excuse me please, because then, you know, it wouldn't be a new idea. But that is always the problem with everything. And now we can't cut this with the paper trimmer because we have the lace there. So we are going to take our scissors. Okay, here I will get something white, but I don't freak out. And I first cut around this whole thing. And then when we have that, we can start cutting it. Oh, my nose. Sorry, cutting it in 2 strips. Like so. And here I'm obviously looking where the line on the paper is. So that means here I can still see the line of this original print, and that's where I'm cutting. How freaking cool is this? Oh my goodness. I am absolutely in love with how this looks. I mean, what the heck? When I made these original strips, I already thought that is a cool thing for a journal. And obviously, I thought already that you can take them and cut them like so, and then, you know, use them in your journal like this, yeah, as a strip. That's also why they are called vintage specimen strips, because they can be used as strips. But this, and please remember from what we made this. I mean, that is made from nearly nothing. And these animals, please tell me in the comments, do these animals now look dead because they are cut? Or is this okay? I mean, I'm in love. Okay, we have to cut this off because that really bothers me. And also here, there's a little white. Oh, we could even ink that. I will quickly go around all of them with Scotch Timber Distress ink, and this little white area here, can get rid of that by just inking over it, and then I guess this will look even cooler. And then we can decide if we want to leave them like so, or if we perhaps want to add these smaller. Where is it now? Where's this small butterfly now? Have I put it back to the pile here? I don't know. Yeah. That is then probably already too much, and it covers up too much, doesn't it? I mean, we would have then a full animal again here, but somehow the interest of this gets lost. What do you think? Is that too much? I mean, when you, for example, use this as a belly band later, yeah, then you could take these and put them on here, for example, like so, perhaps one here, and then one there, and, you know, alternating the sides where you put them. Or print them even smaller. I mean, if you do that, what I just said, and they would peek out here, then you would see more of the animals on the strip. Or for example, like so. That would perhaps look good. Or take something totally different, but this is probably too big. I have these here by coincidence on my desk. These are my vintage photo strips. So let's take him. Perhaps that is then not so weird like the big photo. I have tried this, or tried to imagine this with the photos as well before starting recording this. Oh my goodness. Holy cow, that is amazing. Print these smaller. I mean, this happened to be smaller than this here, yeah, because that would, for my taste, that would be completely too big. But if this was straight, it was really, really amazing. Because when you have something different, and not only the animals, then this has more, yeah, it's more like a focal point. No, not really. Louisa, not really. Where's the focal point here? I think that is not such a good expression for what I'm trying to say, but this pops out more then, and it's not so lost like just one of these on here would be, because it's different to what we have in the background. Oh, okay. The plan was to ink these up. I need coffee. I need coffee to calm my nerves. I will ink these up, and then I will definitely also try out the other direction. You know, we still have these, which we have cut in the other direction in the very beginning of this video. And I will just take another of the full sheets and then glue that down there with the same thoughts like here, but in the other direction. And then we will see how that looks. So here we go. This was so relaxing, and as you can see, I totally went crazy with this. I mean, I have paid attention to use the strips we've cut in the other direction, but as you can see here, I changed the direction of gluing those as well. I started here with one of those which were cut in the other direction, and then the others are like so. The the most of them. Yeah, I think all of the others are then like so, but I wanted to see how that looks when we have it here like this, especially with the lace here, because when we then cut that, the lace is also, and the strip as well, in the other direction. And I wanted to try that out. Oh, look. That is even more interesting. I haven't added the sellotape to these, and also not these labels, because when I looked at these, which we've made before, I thought that this color is not so very clever here. I mean, this fits, this is a little bit purple as well, but this somehow is weird there, isn't it? I mean, we can always change that later, but when I look at these, then I probably should have paid more attention to the color of these labels. What do you think? So that was the reason why I haven't added them here, so that I can see the difference and that I can see what I like better. And with that, I also came to the conclusion that you always, of course, can add more later. I mean, when you have cut them into these strips, then you can also probably see better what is going on each of the strips. And then I guess you can better decide where you want to add some more things, like labels or so. Because when I have these separately, I can clearly see where I want to have something. And I think this, I like this even better than the other version. Especially because of this direction of the strips. Because here you can see this portion. This is obviously now one of the others. And also here, I think that looks really interesting. Oh, and that is so easy. And you can use the tiniest bits and pieces. Here on this one, for example, I've just glued this little piece of lace I had accidentally torn off there a second ago. And that is just cool that you can use these tiny pieces. I really enjoy that. This here is even wider. Yeah, a little bit wider than the others, because I glued this strip here a little bit to the white paper from the print. And I think this is also really nice. Oh, perfect belly band. So I will quickly ink the edges of these. Oh, and look how many we got in this short time. And I even have a ton of my strips from the beginning left over, which I can use to make another sheet. I mean, this is totally enough to make even a third sheet, or perhaps even a fourth sheet, and then I have even more of them. I hope you like this. And I'm really hoping that you want to try this. This is so much fun. And perhaps even if you don't like it, try it anyway, okay? Because sometimes when you see things and you haven't tried them, because at the first glance you think, oh, what shall that be? What shall I do with that? Try it out. When I think about page tabs, when I saw them for the first time, I didn't get what they can do. And then in the meantime, now I'm addicted to page tabs, yeah? And that could be the same for you. If you see this and you think, what shall that be? Try it out. And then later on decide if you like it or not. If you then still don't like it, of course, then don't do it again, yeah? But please try this out. And see you the next time. Bye-bye.